What's up? It's Tiffany. Before we get started on this week's episode, please be sure to send us your requests at booshakalakapodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter X, Booshakalakapod. You can also find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Instagram at Booshakalakapodcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Booshakalaka podcast. Sorry for the short hiatus, but we are back, and I'm your host, Tiffany, joined by my co-host, Pierre.
When my dragons are grown, we will take back what was stolen from me. We will lay waste to armies and burn cities to the ground.
Game of Thrones and
Thank you.
or...
No, okay. Yeah, just go ahead. Just you win. I had to give you a softball.
Never seen it. Never
of course. I know.
I don't give into peer pressure. Unless I'm pressuring myself.
Right.
Well, welcome back. My vacation was nice.
I'm glad you had a good vacation.
Then the storm started to barrel through over by Mexico and ruined a couple of days. But, very sorry to all the people in Florida. Those hurricanes are no joke. Hope everybody got out safely. And things that we need are recovered. This movie wasn't a recovery.
I'm not going to let you do this. I'm not going to let you do it. I'm not going to let you do it.
Scream 5 Scream 5 Cream, which was released in 2022, and the synopsis is 25 years after a streak of brutal murders shocked the quiet town of Woodsboro, California, a new killer dons the Ghostface mask and begins targeting a group of teenagers to resurrect secrets from the town's deadly past. Sure. I do believe that is what happened.
See, this is why I need Jay here, because you on some bullshit. This
was
a great
with this movie. It was too long.
It was 2 hours. Is this the longest Scream movie?
2 hours too long. It needed some editing. It needed a lot of stuff. I found myself fast forwarding the tense scenes to get to the kill because I was like, this is taking too long, especially later in the movie. Wes, child, look, that took way too long, but I'm not going to rag on it too bad. It was okay, but it wasn't, it's not like my top 3 Scream movies, so.
It was you like the Babadook? So, we start the movie
Absolutely fucking not.
I've never seen that. I've never seen that. So, because she made it seem like it was so good. But do you hate it because it's not horror, or do you hate it, like, come on now.
I hated it because a strong plot in that movie and something that continued through from the beginning to the end was a child screaming. Like he was having bad nightmares, seeing this, and I could not take the constant screaming. I was so annoyed, and he was, the mom and the child are both just, you won't like either one of them. So no, it wasn't something for me. I refuse to watch it again.
Okay. All right. Well, we start the movie off with a young girl texting her friend. She gets a phone call from Charlie. She thinks it's her mom's boyfriend. It ain't her boyfriend. It's the killer.
R.I.P.
Right. So, I thought this was a great opening scene just because everything that you would think would help in this situation didn't work. She got automatic locks on her phone. She's texting her friend, not really texting her friend. How do you clone a cell phone? I have never. The only time where I hear clone cell phones is in the Scream movie franchise. I've never heard of that before. I don't like what? How do you clone?
Well, have you seen a text now number?
No.
Yeah, so there's an app you can put in. Gosh, I don't know if they make them anymore, but I can't even remember what it's called. But this was like when they first started out. I remember I was prank calling my aunt, and I called her from 911. And she's like, how's 911 calling me? So
I hate you.
There is a way of doing it. I think, I don't know how we would do it nowadays, but, because, iPhone has the iMessage to iMessage, so I'm not actually sure, but
she clearly had a droid.
That line was used a little too much for my liking in this movie.
What?
That her phone was copied. Because at what point do you go get a new phone number? At what point do you shut that phone number off? You don't, because guess why? I know why, because I'm not stupid.
Right. Okay. So, she really, the only part that really annoyed, because I'm like, okay, they didn't explain this. How close does she live to Amber? Because when the killer was like, I'm going to go kill Amber, and she grabs the knife and runs out the door, where exactly are you going? Because remember, Stu live out in the cut. And if that's Amber's house, baby, where are you going?
Maybe it was like a 10-minute walk. Maybe not too bad.
Girl, go to hell, call the police. I guess they were on their way.
That's where she messed up. She didn't call the police. She did.
Or did the alarm system call the police? Because she said, remember when he was stabbing the fuck out of her, she was like, the police are on their way, and they did come. So I assume that they, okay, because that's well, yeah.
I'm not sure. First off, number A. I don't know anyone, Gen Z, millennial, that answers from unknown callers. Strike number one. Because if that, she knows she has a cell phone. She knows all of her friends know this cell phone. None of her friends are calling her house phone. She would not have answered that phone. 100%. Or if she would have answered the phone waiting to think maybe, it was her mom and it wasn't, she would have hung up. I just find these conversations with the killer unbelievable.
Okay, my thing is 2022. Are we still doing house phones, or have we completely retired them? I don't know, because Spectrum got. I just feel like there's
a lot of them have like those packages where the phone is only like $5 a month. Cool. Well, we have it there because if the power cuts out, but then you better get a landline because that cordless ain't gonna do you no justice. I do not believe. They also wanted to let you know that Tara was asthmatic. Asthmatic? Yes.
Asthmatic. As soon as the movie started. I'm like,
is that right? Yeah. as soon as the movie started, she had to get a puff pass. But yeah, she's just having I just don't believe it. And again, she says her favorite movie is The Babadook. No, ma'am.
Well, remember, she likes elevated horror. I will say, as a child of asthma, I don't know if you remember. You probably don't, because everybody was smoking around me. But I never had to just use my inhaler. Like her walking around the house, I
never think that inhalers are used correctly in movies. I feel like they don't know anybody that has an inhaler.
Well, first of all, they don't. It's not one puff.
That rocks the cradle.
It's not one puff. I used to take two. And I used to do it because you're not supposed to let the smoke come out, but it's cool when you see it. But yeah, so the one puff, but again, you usually need it when you're like having trouble breathing. Her walking around the house, texting her friend. I'm not sure why she needed to do the inhaler. But like you said,
she just came from the gym or something, something.
Yeah, or like maybe she ran down the stairs, because it can be very, depending on the level of it, a run down the stairs might. So, but like you said, they had to tell us that
careful.
They had to tell us that she had asthma.
Foreshadowing. Yeah, and the caller is on the phone, and first he's saying, he's her mom's friend, and her mom loves her and really is looking forward to her and her future endeavors. She's very proud of her, blah, blah, blah. Then he turns around and is like, hey, what's your favorite scary movie? And I'm like, man, I got to go.
It just started getting weird, because why are we having it, like you said, okay, even if it is mom's boyfriend, or, her friend from AA, whatever. Why are we talking? You a grown-ass man. That's just not adult etiquette for you to be like, oh, hey, your mom, like, especially.
That's why I feel like the killer just gonna have to bust through the door for me, because you're not gonna get me on a phone call.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get me on a phone call.
Think about this. If you a boyfriend, you ain't met the child yet, you definitely not trying to step on any boundaries. So I just thought that was a little whack.
And I was like, also that's why the polls ain't correct, because like I said, Gen Z and millennials are not answering that call. You know how many times Kamala done text me, baby, I'm not responding. You're gonna get my vote, but I'm not giving you that $5, baby. I can't do it.
See, they don't ask me for money. They ask a question, and like you said, I just deleted. They have not yet asked me for money yet.
And she gonna be surprised, because we turning up. And look, I'm going next week to do it. I'm ready. I'm tired.
I thought about early voting because it makes sense, but I just feel
we have early in person.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm not mailing my ballot. I'm going early in person. Hey y'all, thank you. I'm gonna get my sticker before anybody else. So yeah, the killer wants to, or the person on the phone wants to play Guess the Stab movie, and Tara's like, I told you I ain't seen that movie. He's like, I know you've seen stabs. Like, okay, I've seen it one time. And during that time, he's taunting her with a recorded video of Amber, or was it supposed to be like FaceTime?
Maybe yeah.
Maybe. You're not gonna lure me with a recorded video of Amber doing her hair when she was just texting me. So now that the phone is cloned, she no longer receives text. I thought it was the same number. Shouldn't both of them receive text? What's going on here?
I don't know how this shit work.
I would have so many questions.
Because, remember when they used to say cloned, this was back in, the 90s. There wasn't no Android that she could be texting.
But you couldn't use the phone. It was like you were privy to everything that was going on the phone. So like if she was texting somebody, you could see her text somebody. You could see the text received. But if you text, then it was like, oh shit, we know somebody else is in the mix, right? It was just like for observation. That's what I got from him. Anyway, so she's like, okay, Amber, I'm about to go save you. She tried to go to the door to kill her, like, hey girl, what's up? He go to work. He breaks her ankle by the killer breaks her ankle by stepping on it, stabs her. He destroys.
Wait, one interjection.
She
is little. That's Tiffany. How the hell did she push that door on that killer? That's the only thing I was like, you lost. They lost me. Adrenaline. Okay, I'm about to say they lost me.
Just that.
No, because they stabbed. He didn't stab her. He sliced her, and then she had the strength to close the door. I was like.
Yeah, I think it was just adrenaline. And then sometimes if you like push with if I'm pushing okay, so think about it. She's a little further back and she's pushing her hands are stretched out completely. The killer is like pushing towards the door like this. I think you have a little bit more force if you're pushing from far back. You have a little more time to amp it up,
I would rather you just say it was Wednesday Addams.
Or that. So she stabbed through the back, stabbed through the hand.
Oh, and that's because in movies that would I know that would happen to me because your first thing is like you
put your hand up,
but that happened in Scream 4, and I was still like, goddamn, like that shit. Ooh,
right, and right before we get the big kill title card, I was like, okay, she ain't dead.
And we're like, we're let to know that she isn't dead because we in Modesto, California. Where the hell is Modesto? Where the Modesto?
It's okay. I'm a stickler for the driving distances.
I love it.
Modesto would be about 2 hours from where Woodsboro is. So think San Francisco right here. Woodsboro would probably be right above San Francisco, and Modesto is south of Sacramento.
That probably pissed me off because you ran away 2 hours away. That was you running away. Okay.
That's what I was saying. I know they lived in NorCal, and then I was like, what part of NorCal? And online it says it's kind of like Santa Rosa area, and Modesto is literally 2 hours away, baby. So that's why I was like, oh, a lot of these killings could have been completed by.
I know you love a drive. I know you love a drive
because it was only 2 hours. So this one is excusable, but I'm not excusing Camp Crystal Lake all the way to New Jersey, or Camp Crystal Lake to Cleveland, or whatever the hell they went to. I can't do it.
So
we see Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah, Sam works at a bowling alley.
Bowlerama.
Not the name. That is not the name. That's not what the shirt said. But yeah, so she gets a call from Wes, who is pissing me off. It's one thing for you to text, but when I call, you can give me full detail. You're not in a rush to do anything. And him being so vague and her having to pull the information out of it, that pissed me the F off.
Because she's been hurt. Bad.
She was attacked.
Kind of like how I felt when you texted me today and said, hey, I'm not going to be ready at 5. But you didn't tell me when you were going to be ready.
Oh.
It could have been in
I didn't know. I didn't know, though. I didn't know until I was wrapping up because I was like, he couldn't find the shoes.
Yo, wrap it up, B. You better wrap that gavel up, B.
He couldn't find the shoes. But yeah, so just kind of pissed me off.
Yeah, I mean, Sam is like, all right, boyfriend Richie, plain looking white guy, I gotta head to Modesto, my sister's in trouble. He's like, well, let me go with you.
I gotta head to Woodsboro.
Oh yeah, I gotta head to Woodsboro, which is only 2 hours away. I mean, it's pretty much, it's probably the same damn county. Um, and he's like, well, I'll come with you. So
he's like, no. He's like, no, I'm coming with you.
And then we find out he hasn't even told her that he loves her till later in the movie. Like, no, you wouldn't have went with her.
That's why I'm like...
Anywho, it was weird. So then we meet our fountain crew, which is what I'm calling them, but we're at some like rickety ass into the woods
gazebo
picnic tables.
Yeah,
picnic.
The tables have. I was like, because they were sitting on the tables. I was like, where are the seats? But they're sitting on the table on the seats.
Mm-hmm. Like where do you think they at the section in the club? Because those people are sitting in the seats.
I know Trey names. So we have Chad and Mindy, who are the twins. They are the niece and nephew of Randy, because somehow his ugly ass sister married a black man. But then again, all she had to do was be white.
Doesn't that seem... Wait. Don't you find that suspicious? Don't you find that suspicious? She actually wasn't ugly in this movie to me.
She wasn't. She's aged very well.
Yeah, it's like everything caught up with her when she started gaining weight and everything. Because she was very, she was a very petite girl.
And for reference, that actress was typecast as the ugly girl in a lot of movies and TV shows, and But anyway,
Heather Matarazzo.
And we get introduced to Amber. She did not look like I think she looked. Like, I don't know what, like when I was watching the movie and she was texting Amber and I was like, oh, that's Amber. She just blew me back. And we get introduced to Wes, who is, we learned that he is the daughter of Judy, which I guess that means
daughter Judy.
The son of Judy. The son of Judy, the now sheriff. And so he would have only had to be about 7 in 4, right? 7 or
so
6,
we
6 or
can
7,
see
5.
how he was, never around.
Yeah.
And Liv.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you knew her name, because I was like, the
girl
with
the pink hair. Highly, highly doubt would be dating Chad.
Okay. Hold on.
Okay, I have a reason. It's not because of her looks or anything like that.
Oh, well,
I have
a
reason.
Okay.
Oh no, I think she was pretty. I don't know how they were dressing her.
No, it was the pink hair. That's why I was like, the jock wouldn't date her.
Yes, I just find it really weird in movies when they have like a jock. So, okay, I think the best example of how it should have worked for them was like in The Faculty. Because Stan did not hang out with these people. He hung out with the jocks. And then when he decided that wasn't for him, he started hanging out with these people. We have Chad, who is like one of the star football players, automatically hanging out with these people. It does not seem like this would be his crowd, is all I'm saying.
And we know he's a star football player because he has a Letterman jacket. I just want to, because I know you, that's just seeing, I'm wondering when they're going to stop this in movies. The only thing I'm going to say
I want it to be realistic. I want it to be a little bit more realistic.
Okay, so we don't think about it. We are far removed. Well, I'm only 5 years removed. You're at least 68 years. We're far removed from high school. So,
you're only 5 years removed from high school?
We don't even have to go there.
Is that
we have
what
a show
said?
to do. We have a show to do.
High school?
We have a show.
Beyonce? I am so sorry, Beyonce, that an old ugly bitch would lie to you about when they graduated high school. So, no, ma'am.
We're far removed from high school. So is it possible that Gen Z, they don't do the clicky thing anymore? Like, is it possible that the football player would hang out with... It's not like they're nerds. Like, they're all hot.
No, I just didn't find it believable. I guess maybe I am too privy to the stereotypes that we always see, but I think it would have just made a little bit more sense because, I mean, is it football season? Why aren't you practicing?
It would have made sense if they were Mindy's friends and he was just the brother who came around. But they wanted to make him more visible. So yeah, I get what you're saying. The other thing that didn't make fucking sense, these are high school children. And I don't care if we're in 2022. Why is she hooking up with that old ass man? So Liv's ex is stalking the damn campus.
His name was Vince.
And he over there just parked, blowing her kisses and shit.
She hit him with the they keep getting Younger? What do you say?
They keep that's what I like about high school girls. They keep getting I keep getting older and they stay older. The same age. And I'm just like that was creepy. And that happens a lot in this movie where you got these high school girls dating these old ass dudes, and I'm like,
yeah, I don't know, but so the team is over there. The Fountain Crew, FC, is over there discussing Tara's almost death, and it seems like the way they're talking that the only one that gives a shit about Tara is Amber.
Yeah,
she's the only one that is like coming to her defense. Well, and Wes seems more like a puppy dog because everybody mentions the fact that he has a crush on Tara. But I am also getting gay vibes from Amber and Tara. I don't know if they meant for it to come out like that, but Amber seems very territorial over Tara. So I think that she might have.
It wouldn't be like that. Like, it would be like, I don't know why they just didn't do another Kirby and Jill thing. Like, you know how they just kind of felt like, this is my friend. Amber, like the petting of the hair. It just was like, I was like, do you have your extra hair? Like, I'm like, I've seen girls be like this and them not be up each other's. Like, okay, girl, like
me and my friends, I have always wondered, when do you get to the point where, how do you get to the point where you are touchy-feely with your friends?
You're just weird. No, now you're just weird. Because I'm affectionate with my friends.
No, I'm talking about, I'm not going out slapping my friends on the ass, slapping my friend's ass in front of people. I'm not going out hitting them with the, who flipped up Lil' Kim titties on the VMAs?
Oh, Diana Ross.
I'm not doing that. I'm not. Me and my friends are cool, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just really not touchy-feely.
You're just not touchy-feely because it does.
But my friends aren't like that either. I don't touch on people like that. I just don't. I like my personal space, and I think because I like my personal space, I give it to you too. But I'm talking about like slapping, grabbing somebody's ass, kissing, all of that. I'm not.
Well, I don't do the kissing, but I've had my friends grab my butt before, and.
Okay, well, I'll let you know right now.
You're not gonna grab my ass?
Nope. So Wes gets a text. Tara is wide awake, and everybody starts to run off to go to the hospital. And Liv is like, "Hey guys, I can't make it. I gotta something. I gotta insert excuse here. See you later. I'll be over to the hospital later." And I think Liv went to go hook up with Vince again.
You know what? That's what I was thinking. I didn't think it the first time I watched it because I was, you're absorbing.
They're just trying to make her red herring though too.
Yeah. But that seems like the most logical thing, especially how he acts later. So
then we have Sam writing to Woodsboro with Richie, and she's telling him about Ghostface and the murders. And Richie's like, "I've never heard about this in my life." Richie, you live 2 hours away. What do you mean you've never heard about this in your life?
That was your red flag?
Strike one.
These movies always get me, so I don't know why you even look at me. Because I was like, oh, okay, he doesn't know it. So, but again, I didn't know that it was so far away. I'm just thinking.
But if they would have said, hey, okay, think about when, not to bring up anything like really bad, but think about like when Columbine happened. Mm-hmm. The stuff that happened in the first Scream would definitely be on that level, even though it didn't happen in the school, but teenagers were murdered. The entire world would know about this. Mm-hmm. And especially, even if you just lived in California, from the top to the bottom of California, everybody would know about it. I just don't believe it would have been more realistic to me if he was like, yes, I've heard about it, but I never watched the movies, and just left it at that. Like, like us, I don't like watching true crime stuff. So, I read about it and I've moved on. It would have made more sense. And so they get to the hospital and Tara's like, Sam's like, "Where's mom?" "Oh, she's in a conference." Mom said, "Fuck them kids."
But I see that's thing.
If somebody calls me and tells me my baby was brutalized, I'm on the first thing smoker.
I thought that was very weird because is she, because I couldn't understand, because they made it seem like she was a drunk. But then, like, so is she a functional drunk? Like,
well, I think she might have. Maybe, I think she was a drunk maybe in her early 20s, or when her husband left was probably when it happened. And now she's gotten herself together. But again, my teenage daughter was brutalized. Yes, I'm in London. Yes, it probably would take me 12 hours to get back. but she should have been there.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the end, when they have like the closet, I really thought, like watching this movie, how they had the closet scene in the first movie when they opened the door and the dad was in there. I thought that was going to happen with their mother. I really thought that was going to happen. And then when the movie ended and we never saw their mom, I was like, what?
We might have saw her in Scream 7, but we ain't gonna ever see that lady because she didn't show up in the sequel to this either. So Mom said she don't
like, what?
Mom said she don't get a foosh about them kids. So they all come.
Not a thing.
And Sam reunites with everyone. She apparently used to babysit them. I was trying to do the age thing. I was like, wait a minute, you used to babysit them 11 years. How old are you? But I just let it go.
Well, she left, so I think she's about 7 years older than them.
Mm.
So if they're 17, she's 24, 25. And a 17-year-old would babysit an 11-year-old.
Yeah. Okay, so but she was there when Jill was doing all that bullshit. Okay. All right. And yeah, with this, I tried to see if I could. Happens. No, but they just, they reconnect, whatever.
Then we go over to the pool hall.
And Vince decides to run up on Liv, and I guess I didn't understand the point of this scene. But yeah, he run up on Liv. Chad like, I beat your motherfucking ass. Don't touch my girl. He pull out a knife, and then the owner kicks all of them out.
I think Liv put that thing on him.
Clearly.
Because I have had an instance long ago where I couldn't get somebody to leave me alone. I was like, please, I'm just a day player. It was just a one-time thing. Get away from me.
Oh, is it that good?
It was just a one-time thing.
Scorpio.
This was long ago. I wasn't even in college. I was after college. I was a grown woman, y'all. I was grown. 28, 9, 30, one of them ages. But I had to block the number. But yeah.
Make me water.
Yeah. So it's just. Oh, we did forget a part where Amber's talking to the crew over there in the pool lounge, and she basically she hates Sam. She doesn't like her because how she abandoned Tara and abandoned the family. Yeah, and she just spilled all the tea. All the tea. I'm like,
I didn't suspect Amber. Her then. I didn't suspect her then because I was like, oh, she just don't like her sister. And that maybe is why she's so protective of her.
Which is why I thought she was gay. I did. Like, I was really feeling like I'm gonna have to look it up because I feel like they might have supposedly had some type of relationship. Maybe they hooked up one time and Tara put that thing on her. I don't know. But like, I feel like something happened like that. Okay. So anyway, later we see Vince peeing on a wall because, well, he got kicked out of the bar. So I guess he had
to
go
home. Okay. He had to go. Okay.
Yeah, I guess I don't see Woodsboro being that big. I feel like he could hold it. Like, we're grown at this point. Unless he already broke the seal, I think he'd be okay. Making it back to his house over there on
gross
Woodsboro Drive. So them little cities have streets named after the city.
Speaking of, I just want to throw out a little, just because we just did Nightmare on Elm Street. I did not realize that Sydney lived on Elm Street. Remember when she was on the phone with the killer and he was like, where does it? Yeah. And she was like, she lives on Elm.
Another funny thing is they show like the town when Sam and Richie are driving through the town. Elm Street is in the town too. So baby, that is a long ass street. Because remember, she lived at the top of the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
She lived up there. But yeah, so anyway, we see so then we see some car lights shining over at Vince, and Vince is like, hey, get out of my freaking car. But he's still peeing, so he can't do too much.
Mm-hmm.
And he turns around and gets to the car, and Ghostface is like a fucking Houdini in this movie because he's not there. He's not in the car when the guy gets there, and then he pops up behind him and stabs Vince in the neck. And we're sitting here the whole time thinking, who is Vince? Why was he killed?
Yeah, I didn't like that. I feel like that was a lame kill. That was just, like, he just slit him in the throat and that was it. Like, that just felt boring.
One of the kills got to be the worst kill, so they chose that one.
Well,
the worst kill was a cop.
Well, they played Red Right Hand, and I guess that was the only time we were going to hear it in this movie. I appreciated that.
Oh, now we're back at the hospital. It's like I did hate how it kept jumping from scene to scene to scene to scene to scene to scene. It was getting on my nerves. Sam is taking her
Anti-psych meds.
She's in the room with Tara and Richie. Richie is watching Stab on his iPhone or on his phone, and she's taking
on
a
Netflix.
nappy.
Those movies would not be on Netflix. The regular Scream ain't on Netflix.
This one was.
But where are the others? It'll pop up. They'll pop up after this review. You know how they like to do.
So she has like a little nightmare, and she wakes up and she goes into the break room, and she takes her medication and leans her head under the faucet to drink. What happened to this? What happened to that? What happened to that? I don't know. But anyway, she leaves her face under there. She looks up at the mirror, and we see a 42-year-old Billy Loomis in the mirror. Nope. I was so upset when I first saw this movie.
They tried. I was like, oh, the white shirt. Oh, the hairstyle. They tried to CGI the. I don't know how else they would have done it unless they would have just found an actor that looks like him. I don't know.
They shouldn't have done it. I think it would have been smarter if it was just voices in her head.
That would have also matched with Sydney in Scream 3. You know how she heard the voices? That would have made much more sense.
I think it should have just been voices in her head. But this was a big nope from me.
Well, he did say, Skeet Ulrich did say that he's not doing them anymore because he was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm getting old.
I'm scared. Uncanny Valley. So she gets a call from her phone says maybe Tara. Like, baby, you didn't have Tara's phone number saved, or did it say maybe Amber? I don't know who it was. It was one of the two. But she answers, and the person on the phone is the Ghostface voice, and it tells them how they plan for Sam to get back, so to tell the truth. And she says, well, basically, put your gun down, fight me like a man. And we hear gladly, and the killer is behind a door that is 6 feet behind Sam. How the hell did she not hear him regularly?
Adrenaline. So he attacks her.
You're not gonna use my excuse that I use for everything. No, it's stupidity. Because I can understand maybe if it he said gladly and then bust through the door. Okay. But he said gladly and pushed open a door that was cracked. Nope.
He attacks her in the break room. He sucks. Like, I was like, boy, if you don't fucking kill this girl, she was like overpowering him like crazy, pushing the table on him. I was like, what the kind of loser are you? Just move around the table.
It felt like I was watching American Gladiator when they had to run away from each other and not get tagged. That's what I felt like I was watching.
And she runs down the hall. Don't nobody work the hospital, clearly. She runs to a security guard like, oh, I got attacked in the break room.
I am so tired of that trope. Try that shit at, I don't know, Piedmont High School hospital in Atlanta. Try that shit at Memorial. Somebody is walking through. This is because in movies, a nurse station, a doctor. No, I don't.
Because in movies they always try to make it seem like the night shift, no one's on call, and I'm like, well, if no one was there, what do y'all think would happen if a wreck occurred at night? I'm like, okay.
Surgery can happen all the time. So that's what emergency surgery is. It just didn't work for me. It doesn't, but you're right. This killer was reminiscent of Stu. Didn't lay a hand on her. Flipped her over a table, but that was pretty much it. She flipped them over a table, and then she ran out, and she's like, the killer's here, the killer's here. And the cop goes in, of course, nobody's there because there was another door in the break room. And she goes back into Tara's room, and Deputy Judy is in there, and she's like, what happened? And Amber's like, well, where were you? And Richie was like, well, where were you? And everybody just starts blaming everybody. And Deputy Judy's like, well, Amber has an alibi. She was at the police station with me. I am back to my favorite question. My favorite question.
Oh, God, I'm scared.
Where the FBI? This has happened too much. I think you only get a pass in 1.5 movies without the FBI being there. when something like this is going down.
Mm-hmm.
The FBI was there for Scream 2. Weren't they the FBI or were they detectives?
It was detectives.
Okay. But yeah, I think if they would have had the FBI... Okay, so the FBI didn't show up till Scream 6 with Kirby.
Clearly. Right.
But I just don't believe it. It's too... I don't believe it. I don't believe it. So everybody blaming everybody, and this is the point where Sam spills the beans to Tara that, you know, she has been hallucinating images of Billy Loomis and baby, because that's my daddy.
And I found out because I read I read my mom's old diary or in some old letters, and I confronted her and I was screaming at her, and Daddy was behind me, and he left.
Like,
oh, this some ghetto ass shit.
And he's not coming home. Daddy's gone. You know they're making a Steve album, right?
I know. Shout out to Steve and Anita Smith, because baby, the R&B boys are scared.
Daddy's gone. So Tara, basically, this resulted in the parents' divorce. Obviously, they didn't love each other anyway. Because you had a whole other daughter. Like, what are we doing? And Sam's 18, kick her out. Tara is mad at Sam.
Mm-hmm.
What would have happened differently if Tara knew the story?
I could have helped you. I don't fucking know. Like, I really don't know. Like, because it's not like she stayed getting in trouble and stuff, and that, like, she just moved. I don't know. Maybe she just, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know.
Nothing else would have, you still would have got stabbed in the hand. I just, like, these are just, like, this little small things, but I don't know. I feel like her reaction wasn't warranted. And she yelled at her, like, get the fuck out! Like, it was a lot. It was a lot for this. I don't...
She was doing a lot for a little bit.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. So, Sam is like, all right, it's time to put on my Sherlock Holmes hat and just get to the bottom of this. So she makes her way over to
a trailer park. I don't like this. I don't see the point in it. Like, the idea that Dewey is the whole desolate in town. Like, this man was once the sheriff. And he survived all these things, but it was his divorce from Gail that made him a drunk, quit or get fired from his job, and now he's in a trailer. One little divorce. You done been stabbed. What he said, 9 times? You done been through this situation 4 times, but a divorce from a woman you've broken up with multiple times is what, now you in a trailer park?
Riddle me that.
You have me fucked up. This, I did not like this. I would have rather them just go to, remember the house that they had? I'd rather them go to the house and it's maybe like junky or something, but...
He turned into a hoarder.
Yeah, like damn, Dewey, really? I didn't like that.
No, I didn't either. They asked for his help to stop the killer, and he's like, I'm tired. Basically. Like, I'm not.
What they could have done? They could have had it where, like, they had a kid and then Gail left them. That would have been...
But they have always constantly made Gail the bad person. So I guess she just wanted a reprieve. She needed one.
Yeah.
Because she turns into the bad person again in the next movie. So she just needed one reprieve. Just one, you know. And I think that was all she's going to get. But, you know, he turned into Danny Glover and said, I'm too old for this shit. And he said he's not helping. But he texts Gail and says, Ghostface back. And then he calls Sydney, and Sydney's on a morning jog. She's like, hey, Dewey, it's so good to hear from you. I haven't heard from you in so long. He's like, hey, Sydney, the killer back. And she's like, oh, shit. He's like, you got a gun? She's like, I'm Sydney fucking Prescott. Of course I have a gun. He's like, well, I didn't ask you to get hostile with me. I was just asking you to just protect yourself and protect your family. All right, you have a good day. And I said good day. And he hung up with her because that was just like calm down. Like, ugh.
And her name is Mark, but I don't remember if Mark's name was the detective from Scripty. I don't remember.
His name was Mark. Remember Mark Kincaid?
Okay, so yeah, she did marry Mark. But I do have to say this. Him when he was like trying to get Sam just like not trust the boyfriend, he like, where was your boy? And I thought that was like interesting. I thought that was an interesting scene because it seemed like they were really trying to get us to suspect him.
Well, it was one of those whole things. How long have you known him? And when he said, Sam, basically, Sam, I'm going with you. I love you. I think that was before they headed out to Dewey's house. Mm-hmm. He's like, no, I want to help you do this. I love you. And she looked at him like, oh, you do? So I'm like, this is too fresh. That's why it was red herring in Scream 6, because it was too fresh. Mm. Which is why she didn't trust him. Enough to lay in bed with him and hanky-panky horizontal polka, or whatever the hell it's called, horizontal mambo, and all of that. But, yeah, I don't know. So, now this scene, I have a problem with.
Oh, okay? Shit. Here we go.
They head over to Martha's house to go see the twins, Chad and Mindy.
And then Dewey shows up, because he's...
Martha. No. Martha Meeks Martin. Mm-hmm. Triple M. Mm-hmm. Eminem. M. Mm-hmm. Your brother was brutally murdered. Mm-hmm. And the same shit is happening right now with your children. Mm-hmm. And you want to bring out some fucking chips and dip?
That's what she's
talking about. Let's get dangerous. What are we doing, Martha?
Martha, even though your brother did die tragically, I just thought that whole centerpiece of him, and then his college degree, his memorial college degree,
his honorary degree.
Yeah, I was like, wouldn't he have just like a, I don't know, like a shrine or like a table, not on the wall in your family home? I just thought that was odd. I feel like that should be at the mom's house, not yours.
Where's the FBI? You the FBI? Yeah, I'm the FBI. Like Chris Tucker in Rush Hour. I need to watch that again. So then Dewey shows up and he's like, "Hey, Martha, girl, how you doing? Where your black husband? Oh, he left you too?" And because they never speak about him. He'll be back when Chad makes it pro in the NFL. Oh, wait, Chad got stabbed 11 times, so never mind, he's not going anymore. So we get them basically blaming each other. We get some jokes in, and Mindy, who is just like her Uncle Randy, deduces that this movie the killer is making a requel. And they're using everybody now, all the new kids, as the new generation, as well as, I'm sorry, before this, Sam tells everybody she's Billy Loomis's daughter. So she's using all the new kids as well as Sam's connection to Billy Loomis as a way to lure legacy survivors. So boom, Dewey showed up. We already got step one of the plan is in action. Mm-hmm. And basically what she's saying is like, did you see Stab 8 stunk? So we can't do a complete redo because everybody loves the original Stab and it was based on a true story. Mm-hmm. And we can't just do a regular sequel because you already fucked up Stab 8. You got to retcon everything. And, news flash, we got to do a requel. This is what we're looking for. And news flash, requels don't work all the time either. You're not gonna. Do you see her anywhere around here? Take a good look around. Do you see her around here? You're not gonna.
Okay.
It doesn't work all the time.
Well, she did make up good points because she brought up Child's Play. How you just can't,
You just can't redo it. You can't. Oh God. That movie should have been called Doll 1. Because it shouldn't have been called Child's Play.
I hate you.
Because if it didn't have overalls and was named Chucky, it could have been anything. It literally could have been anything. We will not be reviewing that movie. That is disrespectful.
No.
To the Child's Play legacy. Jesus. Disrespectful.
But she brought up how when you just redo it without honoring the legacy, it doesn't work. I thought she was making good points. But then they just start all accusing each other again. And then she turns on Sam. And I'm like, Okay, look.
We got the Spider-Man meme where everybody is pointing at each other because nobody believes anybody. So then they finish off what they're doing after they continue to blame each other. We pop over at Sheriff Judy's house, and Wes is home, and she's like, "Hey, honey, I'm gonna go get some sushi because I don't like DoorDash. It's always mushy when I get it." I'm like, "What is your DoorDash delivery driver doing? And why aren't you just complaining to get a free meal?"
I hate you.
That's what I'm gonna do. So she hops up in the car and she starts driving along in my automobile. And she gets a call from Ghostface, and Ghostface is like, "Hey, I'm gonna turn myself in and let you know the 2 people I killed." And she's like, "Well, we only have 1 on our radar, which is technically Vince." And he says, "Well, by the time you make it home, I'll have gut your son, your beautiful baby boy, like a fish." And she's like, "Oh no, not my child," because like I don't know who the daddy is. And she turns on it might be Dewey, and she turns on her lights and drives back home. And I hated this part. I really did.
Why?
Because the killer just jumps out of a bush.
That's not what pissed me off. That's not okay. So where's your gun? Even when she was in the house and she thought somebody was in there, she grabbed a knife, and I was like, "You're the sheriff. Where's your pistol?" And so she just runs to the door unarmed. And so, and then it pissed me off how she's literally screaming for help. Nobody come outside. Like, this is not it's not like the city. This is a neighborhood. This is Woodsboro. It's small. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right. And it's not like she lived like where Sydney lived, where there's nobody else around.
Yeah, there are houses. I'm looking houses, house. And she's just screaming there, and he got time to just stab, and then run off in broad daylight.
Yeah, no, run off. He ran in the house.
Yeah, because he had
time to run in that. Actually, I feel like both of those murders were done simultaneously. Because I just think it was just too much time from, like you said, stabbing her in the front yard and her being dead on the front yard to spending 10 minutes taunting Wes as he gets out of a shower. Like, I really feel, or maybe Wes was already dead. That shower scene pissed
me off because I ain't seen
maybe Wes was already dead.
I ain't seen no wash rag. So you're thinking that he killed Wes first and then came outside the house and I suppose.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know, because I was like, maybe I was just like, wow. I mean, I guess I was like, why did Wes have to die? It just came out of nowhere. I don't know. I was like,
right, because there's a part where Mindy is talking and Wes is like, "Well, my mom, was a part of the legacy," and she's like, "Nobody gives a fuck about those raggedy ass sequels," and he's like, "Oh, excuse me." Yeah, I guess because he was just in their friend group. That's just it. You look. If I have some friends and somebody gets murdered brutally, baby, I don't want to be a friend no more. I'm deleting you off of Facebook, MySpace, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Snapchat. What else we got? Pinterest. I'm deleting you off of everything. You're out of here. You're out of here. I would have taken her freaking Norwegian ass and told her where she could go. Yeah. So.
Understood.
Where's the FBI?
So, well, not the FBI, but the whole police station shows up to
Oh, well, we forgot to say Wes gets stabbed through the neck, like a fucking piercing. It's like right in the jugular. So I know he was dead immediately. It was disgusting looking. It looked really bad.
Yeah, they tried really hard to. Yeah.
And Wes seemed like he was one of the more likable characters in the movie. So that kind of stunk when they offed his ass.
He just didn't have his taser on him.
He should have. But yes, you're right. All of the cops are at Deputy Judy's house, except for one. Just one. That's at the hospital. And the hospital does not have security guards either.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not. I'm tired of that trope. I need that trope to go away because I have been to a hospital. No, just people in the hospital. Like, okay, I'm not. If anything, all the rooms are full. Somebody is in their bed because the hospital ain't never got no beds available. So somebody in there somewhere. Yeah, there's no cop, no nurse, no CNA, no janitor, and even the fucking lights were off. Like, what are we doing? So how did Tara get the notification that Ghostface was coming to her? I don't remember that.
Oh, remember, I think, well, he texted or called. Something like that. It was a text or a call.
Yeah, so she is still beat the fuck down, trying to get into a wheelchair with a broken ankle, a hole through her hand, like Jesus Christ. Remember on Family Guy?
No, I don't.
When I think he held the hand up and it was like whistle, like the wind was whistling through. Family Guy is fucking shit.
I hate you.
So she's trying to get out of her hospital room. She's in a wheelchair.
Baby.
She makes it to the nurse's station. Yeah, it was. It really. She's a very good actor.
Rolling.
I believed her. I believed her. She made it to the nurse's station. We got a one cop there, and he got a smiley face. Why are these cops so terrible? I feel like if the FBI was there, this wouldn't happen.
How many times are you gonna say this?
FBI.
You can't keep work.
FBI. Like I just don't believe it. Like I don't believe it. So Ghostface calls up Tara?
Yeah.
Sam.
Wait, no, Sam. He calls Sam, and that's when he's like, "Oh, look, I'm at the hospital about to kill her," and that's when she's like, "Oh shit." Did we say Gail had came? We forgot Gail didn't arrive because Sam's at the crime scene of the sheriff and Wes. And Gail. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Gail then said
Gail pops up. Gail, because she had to go beat up Dewey because he texted her that the killer was there instead of calling her. Mm-hmm. And then that's when the killer like, "Hey bitch, I'm about to kill your sister again." Like, it's just, why is nobody watching this girl? And so she head over to the hospital while Tara over there being fucked up by the killer. And this is my thing, because it was so painful when she was pushing the wheelchair and her hand started bleeding. And so Richie pop up. "Oh, Sam texted me to," I was like, hell no.
Is this when you knew?
That was
Were
just a little
suspicious?
I was suspicious.
Okay. I was like, at this point, you definitely got to be suspicious.
Not Sam texted you and told, boy,
stop. Yeah, so we see the tortoise and the hare race. Tara is the tortoise, and Ghostface is the hare, because Richie jumps up and the Ghostface stabs Richie in the arm, and I was like, "You're not gonna do this right now." Stabs Richie in the arm, and then is on the phone with Sam, and he basically says, "Sam, you have a decision to make. Do you want to save the life of Richie, or do you want to save the life of Tara?" And Sam is buying herself time. She's like, "What do you mean? I don't even know who these people are." And the killer's like, "Your sister, Tara, and your boyfriend, Richie." And she's like, "What's their last names?" And the Ghostface basically has to explain who he is to her, but we find out that she's actually really buying time because her and Dewey were right there at the elevator. Mm-hmm. They get off the elevator, and terrible shot Dewey
misses him twice. But they go and they save everyone. Well, they get Tara, they wheel her to the thing, he gets Richie, and then the killer pops up again. Dewey fires that motherfucker dead into the glass. This part, catch it. If you catch it, Richie has the look on his face like he wasn't looking like, yeah, he shot the killer. He was like, you know what I mean? Like, I care about. I have
to go back and look at that because I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's like a concerned look, like, oh, shit, the person that I love just got shot. So,
but again, Dewey, why are we still? How many times
this part pissed me off
because they were in the head?
This pissed me off. So yeah, he shot him. He didn't shoot him in the head, but they all get to the elevator, and Dewey's like, "Oh, you got to shoot him in the head, otherwise they come back." And then
Dewey says, "Let me handle this, bitch."
And he pushes the elevator down. They all go down, and he's left. The killer's gone. He looking around. Like you said, Houdini, the killer pop out, stab Dewey the fuck dead. Like, I was just like, ain't no way this little ass girl is overpowering you. I still disagree with that. I still don't like that Dewey had to die. I don't fucking like it. Like,
I think it was long overdue. I think he should have been died. I'm keeping it real. Him and Gail should have been died.
I just like the trio.
And Sydney
I
should
love
have
the
moved
trio
to Switzerland.
I love the trio, and I just don't like it. Just I don't know. It sucks. I didn't like it. So yeah, it hurt me. You don't care that it hurt me.
No, I don't. Now we're back at the hospital still, and Sydney shows up, and Gail is there. Gail is just heartbroken that Dewey is dead. The scene, I really felt that she was really sad, and Sydney shows up, and she's hugging on Gail, and she's like, I can't believe this has happened. What we gonna do, girl? And right that time, they're like, we about to whoop some ass because they done killed Dewey. So they're like, I'm back in it, because I feel like if Dewey would have never died, the three of them would have just skipped town. Gail would have took his ass back to New York with her, and then Sydney would have stayed in, I don't know where she lived, Philly or something like that, Pittsburgh. I don't know. Like, I really feel like they would have just left. So Sam goes to talk to Tara in the hospital. Tara wakes up. Well, Sam talks to Gail for a second, and she's like, yeah, girl, I know what we got to do. So she goes up to Tara. Tara wakes up. She's like, Tara, we're going to do something that nobody ever does in these movies. We're going to get the fuck out of Woodsboro. And I was like, yes, ma'am.
But Sydney come up and try to stop the plan. She's like, wait a minute, girl. I done been through it. I didn't like how rude she was. It just didn't seem realistic to me. I was like,
yeah, what are you being a bitch was really rude to her. Yeah, I was like, what are you being a bitch to me for? Are you mad because I was fucking the same man your mom was at the same time? Like, what's the problem here? I wasn't sleeping with Richie. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, and then she was just like, because she was like, I've been through this before, trying to help you out, don't run.
See, but the thing is, here's that I've always talked about before. It's like, Sydney, we can continue to kill the killer, but somebody else is going to pop up. Let's actually have some repercussions for the killer other than death. So people won't try to be like him. But, she just, in the head is all she wants to do. In the head. Mm-hmm. So Richie, Sam, and Tara, they head out. They're about to leave out the hospital. They're in the car. Tara can't find her inhaler, and she's like, I'm like, so Sam asked her, like, can't you just get one at the pharmacy? We can stop at a pharmacy. She's like, oh, well, I need a refill. I can go on my CVS app and click refill on my shit. I can go to my Walgreens app and hit refill on my stuff.
Yeah. And then she was like, you can't wait. And she was like, no. And I'm like, you haven't pumped since the beginning of this movie. So though Richie objects, they go over to Amber's house because Amber has her spare inhaler. Why? Mm-hmm. Why?
Like, I feel like there would be a spare inhaler at Sam and Tara's house. Where was the one that was there that she pumped in the beginning of the movie?
Maybe that was at the hospital with her. I'll give them that. But
there had to have been another. Did you only have one inhaler at one time on your person when you were pumping?
Yeah, because her spare was at Amber's, her girlfriend.
No, yours. So... You in real life.
I had one for mom's house and dad's house.
Yeah, so okay. I guess it was her house and Tara's house. Or Sam or Amber's house. Shit, too many people. So Sydney and Gail are like, look, we got to kill this killer, even though he didn't come after either one of us. We got to kill him. We got to kill him anyway.
Right. And then Sydney puts a tracker on their car, which is even, I was like, so y'all really trying to be in the action.
But still doesn't call
really,
the police.
really trying to be in the action.
They were ready to regulators, mount up. They were ready to get it on. And the car stops. So Tara, okay. So we skip over to Amber's house, and everybody from the school is there, and they're having a farewell party for the now dead Wes in the movie, and the, of course, dead Wes Craven in real life. So they're paying tribute to him. They are drinking. They're partying. They are watching Stab.
Yeah, I looked for the extra. You know how they said that other, like, there were cast members who were like discussed. I looked for them. I didn't see Drew Barrymore. I don't know what the hell they were talking about. I was like, I don't see Drew Barrymore over here.
I think they were in audio. To Wes. I think maybe they said something. They said something during that. Yes.
Okay.
That's what I think it was. But yeah, so they get over there, and Tara's like, hey, no. Amber's like, hey, Tara, too many names. Amber's like, hey, too many people are still alive, for instance. What are you doing here, girl? She's like, hey, girl, I came over to get my inhaler. She's like, oh, okay, I think it's in my room. And then she immediately is like, all right, party's over. Why?
Yeah, that was with that. I don't remember that. I do not remember that. I thought they left for some other reason, but I was like, you all gotta leave so she can get her inhaler.
Yeah, so
I would
they
have been
didn't
like,
have an excuse like in Scream 1 where the principal died.
oh, mm-hmm. Well, they
They had
killed yeah, I guess they killed the principal for that. But yeah, they weren't that. These motherfuckers aren't that smart.
No, you're right. They clearly are not. So she starts to clear the party up, and Richie joins in immediately. Turn on the lights. He's like, "Hello, Gen X, Gen
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 Z.
Z. What? Gen Z, what's up, everybody? I'm totally like cool up in here. You know, the party is party done. What y'all gonna do? You know, I don't know what he was doing because clearly he's not that much older than Gen
I
Z.
would, yeah.
Like Gen Z is 97, and I think he's like he probably would have been like 94. Like he's not that much older than them. It just wasn't believable. So the party ends, the party done, and everybody is headed back to home. And we see Sydney and Gail in the car, and Sydney's like, oh shit. And Gail's like, what's up? She says, oh, they stopped, and we realize that she stopped at a house. How far are they from the house? Too far. And so I'm sorry. What's her name? Sydney calls over to Sam, and she's like, Sam, you got to get the fuck out of that house. She's like, what's going on? It's like, you were at Stumacher's house where the party happened and everybody died. You are at that house right now. And Sam was like, oh my God.
Only 2 people died. Only 2 people died at that damn party. She's talking about where they killed everybody. I was like, Sydney, only Tatum and Kenny died.
And Billy and Stu?
Yeah, but she said that's where Bill and Stu killed everybody. And it's like they only killed 2 people.
Dang, you're right.
Yeah, that's how I was like. I mean, I get what she was saying.
They tried to kill 4 more, but they
yeah, but she made it seem like it was just a massacre, and I'm like, Sydney, do you not remember what happened? So yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about that. Well, I mean, it's where the what's it called? The
big finale. So
there you go. Thank you. I was blanking on that.
So we're skipping. So Liv and Chad, they're virgin. Well, maybe they're not virgins, but they haven't had sex with each other, which is probably why she was sucking fucking Vince still. And she's like, you want to go upstairs? And he's like, oh, you might be the killer. So she runs off. And she's like, fuck you, I'm leaving.
She's so mad. Like, she's so mad that he wants to stay around a bunch of other people so they both survive. Like, she is pissed. Like, you know, he's thinking with his other head, ma'am. Mm-hmm. But then he doesn't think with his other head because he makes stupid decisions.
Yeah, because she runs off, and she's apparently like, it was a very lit party. Like, it was a bigger party than the first Scream movie. So I was like, the fact that they can just find all these nooks and crannies where no one is, because he goes outside and he can't find her, but he uses what do they call it? Find my friend, find my family.
And her phone, find my fam.
Yeah, phone is dinging.
But wait. Right before that, I'm sorry, that was my fault that we skipped that bunch. So let's hold off on Sydney finding out where they are. Mm-hmm. Amber is told by Liv that they're running out of beer. So she's like, okay, well, I'll go to the basement to get the beer. She goes to the basement and the light won't switch on. So she uses her phone flashlight to go in the basement and closes the door behind her. Why did she close the door? That door would have been propped the fuck open so everybody could see me in that basement. What are we talking about? So she gets down there and Mindy is like, this was a trick. And you failed, ho. Why did you come down here by yourself? Why did you come down here by yourself? And Amber's like, because I'm the killer. And Mindy's like, funny, I'm the killer. And they're just like going back and forth, and I believe neither of them while I was watching this. So I was like, you both are stupid. And, you know, just a little back and forth, little chitter chatter, just to add more time to the movie. And then Liv is hot to go, and Chad is like, no, I don't want to do this. And Liv like runs off from everybody. And then we're in the car with Sydney and,
Mm-hmm.
and Gail. And Gail's like, I really wish I wouldn't have written that book. And, I started this whole thing. And Sydney's like, what do you mean? Billy started this. Roman erasure?
I know. That annoyed me because I'm like, y'all cannot act like that movie didn't happen. That's the key point to all this shit. So yeah, that pissed me off. She should have said like Roman erasure. Because he directed.
Roman, Billy, and Stu did all of this. Mm-hmm. So Chad is sitting there and he's texting Liv. Liv is not texting back. He's like, okay, I'm gonna go find her. And he picks up a fucking candlestick, like, he's in the library with the candlestick and killed, Mr. Professor Plum or some shit like that. Like, what are we doing here? Like, cut it out. That's my favorite movie.
I know.
We have to review that one day. You're gonna love it. He gets outside and she sends the Find Me app, and it says that she's 60 feet away from him. He looks over, and 60 feet away is some rustling bushes. I am not following you into any bushes. It's frogs in there. It's raccoons in there. It's spiders in there. I'm not following you into a bush. Like, I'm going to think that he did that because his mother is Martha.
Wait. Oh.
Like,
I understand what you're saying.
That's the only reason why I can assume he did that.
Like, what would she be doing in the bushes? But he does come to the realization. He was like, fuck this. That's when the killer comes and stabs him in the leg. Football career over.
Benito.
And then he like beats him up and then starts limping. I was like, why don't you limp back towards where you came from? He didn't walk that far. He was like, just go in the house.
Or again, beat them to a pulp.
Well, he got stabbed in his leg. And he probably, and he was already, it was hard for him to.
The mask isn't glued on. At least we could pull the mask off and like fuck their face up where they're like, oh, they never hit the killer in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, no, she punched him in the beginning. Remember? She punched him when he sliced her stomach. And
so why were there no marks on them? She must.
I was looking for him too. I was looking for the motherfucker.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, because the only person who had bruises was Chad, and he said because of football. So he did have practice.
Those bruises were almost healed.
He goes and runs behind the shed, but then his Find My phone starts flashing, and he throws his phone, and then he tries to make a run for it, but then he started limping. I didn't understand. Like, I was like, he should just ran back in the house. I didn't. And then the killer come outside the barn. And starts hacking him. Like, he starts. I'm like, how he was stabbing? Like, they stabbed like Judy. He was stabbing the fuck out of Chad. And then Sydney and Gail. No, I'm sorry. That's when Sam, Richie, and Tara arrive, and the killer runs off. But he was like dead. He was dead, left for dead. You left my son for dead. And yeah, so that's when they arrive, and we're back at when they're kicking everybody out. Liv is making out with somebody on the couch. They're watching the first stab movie. I didn't understand.
Here's my other gripe. This dang on light.
Wow, when he go get fucking beer. Because what did you need beer for?
Yes.
You're about to
go
back.
You're driving them 2 hours to Modesto. What do you need beer for, honey? Don't you find that suspicious? Don't you find that suspicious? Did you think about it this time? In real life, were you questioning him at that point?
Yes, because because they're making it seem like the basement is just this far drift off. Like, the basement is right there. Like, it's not even a long, like,
It would have been realistic if you said, hey, is there any bottle of waters anywhere?
Yeah.
I want to grab some for the road.
Mm-hmm. But a beer.
But Mindy's like, yeah, go to the basement. And he's like, you want to come with me? And she's like, no, you're a white guy. So she does not, and I like lesbians. I like women of color. Yeah, because we do see that she is gay, and she makes out with another woman before all of this starts happening. But yeah, like, what are we doing? So he leaves, and Mindy is sitting on the couch, and Liv plops down beside her, and she's like, I'm so mad. My Uber canceled on me. I can't get home. I can't have sex. And Mindy's like, what, my brother? She's like, I don't know. What do you mean? She's like, well, Chad went looking for you. Well, I didn't see him. I don't know what's going on. And then she like tries to confront her. I would have been up choking her. Like, don't you dare get in my face. Because it doesn't really seem like they're friends. They're friends for sure. Yeah. Like, she only tolerates her because she's dating her brother. And she's like, I only put up with you because X, Y, and Z. Because you basically told me I'm not cool enough to be a killer. I would have immediately got up and started choking her. Like, I would be like, I don't, you know what? I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable. And just choked her down to the ground. But like, you're making me uncomfortable. I don't like this. I don't like this. There are real people dead. I'm choking you. Like, for real. And then she stomps off and grabs her popcorn and walks off. We really would have been fine. You don't snatch enough food out of my hand.
And she just continues to watch the movie.
I'm going to just say she was maybe high or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. So here we have Mindy's dual moment with Randy's character. Behind you, Jamie. Behind you, Jamie. Look behind you,
First of all, it
Jamie.
wasn't even the fact that I don't know. It's just like, I know I said I wanted to watch the stab movie, but now I don't. I was like, this acting is terrible. I was like, this acting is terrible. And so the killer rolling up, and as she's saying behind you, she's like, wait a minute. And it seemed like she had got away quickly, but the killer had clearly stabbed her in the shoulder. And that's when they hear the crashing and they go in and save her from the killer. Like, Sam throw a lamp on him and then he just runs away. And I was like, okay. And then she goes and try to like stop the bleeding, but then Liv passes out.
I think she just passed out. I think Mindy just passes out. Yeah.
That's when here come Amber and Tara. What the fuck did you do to her? Oh my god! She's just being so hysterical. I was like, girl, really?
Well, Amber's like, blaming Sam for everything.
Yeah, she's like, what the fuck did you do? So then, and then Richie comes in. He drops the beer that he just went to go get. Where have you been? I went to go get beer. You've been gone for way too fucking long. And then here come Liv, and she got blood on her. And she's like, I found Chad. And here we go with this shit. Oh, it was you. It was you. It was you. It was you. It was me. It was me. And baby, I don't care what nobody say. This is what makes the movie for me.
Liv is like, I did not fucking kill Chad. Or whoever.
Amber said, I know. Pow! I was like, that is the best reveal. That's the best reveal that Scream has ever, because she was it was so nonchalant.
I know.
Pow! I was like, wait a minute, we're not stabbing people no more. They said we don't give a fuck about you, Liv.
And then she says, welcome to Act 3, and then she loses me right there.
And
because it was already Act 3. We were already there.
So she goes to shoot Sam, but then Tara stops her, and her and Richie, look, Randy, her and Richie go running into the they will go run into the basement, and then she puts a knife up to him because she don't trust him, and he like, baby, it ain't me, it's your sister. And then skip forward, Sydney.
Well, Sam is like, nah, cuh, and she runs up out of there.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't think it's my sister.
Yeah, and she goes upstairs. She finds her sister in the closet. She's all taped up, duct taped up, but then she's like about to cut her loose, but then she's like, wait a minute, maybe he was right. Sydney and Gail arrive. They roll up with guns ablazing. They're like, let's get this shit over with. Like, they are really just
like, why y'all got no bulletproof vests? Come on now.
They got nothing. They roll up. Here come Amber. Oh my god, they stabbed me. Gail like, this bitch faking. Like, she said, fuck it. She shoot Gail in the stomach. I'm like, and runs in the house. Sydney tried to shoot her, but she's a bad shot.
All that time Sydney spent surviving, getting guns, she should have took her ass to the gun range. Because Amber should have been shot in her leg or something. She should have been shot somewhere. Even not to kill her, which is understandable. Like, they could have shot, what if they would have shot her, like, right here in the bone? Like, that just, woo.
Give a chill in your spine. So, yeah.
Right, and this is when they should have called the police, too.
I was like, why didn't they call the police? I'm like, Gail's literally bleeding. Like, because she's like, Gail, you need to get to the hospital. Like, I just don't know. I don't know, because I feel like...
Was Gail supposed to drive herself to the hospital?
I didn't understand what was supposed to happen here. I'm assuming Gail called the police. But Woodsboro police don't arrive time fast anyway.
They all still at Deputy Judy house eating the rest of her. They cleaning out her fridge, eating the rest of her lemon squares. It was just her and West that lit her, so now they get ready to put the house up for sale. Like, I just don't know. So Sydney is going in the house. She's looking for the killer, and baby, Sydney said, "I'm not putting up with this anymore." She said, "You got to the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, pow!" She just shoot right through the closed doors, and this is what I'm talking about. Yeah. This is what the fuck I'm talking about. This is what you should always be doing. We're not giving nobody a second chance. She's shooting. Baby, she shoot through one door and Richie ass in there. She shoot Richie straight through the leg. And he's like, "I'm trying to help you, but I'm shot in the leg." And she's like, "Well, look, you should have came out when I told you to." And he said, "But you're shooting everything." And then Ghostface pop out the closet door right next to that closet. I'm like, damn, bitch, y'all got a lot of closets up in this house. It jumps on Sydney. They both barrel over the banister and hit the ground from the 2nd floor. Yo, I would have been out for the count. You could just go home and shoot me in my head because I went walking today. I did 3 miles walking today. I came in, took a shower, and I swear I slept for 3 hours. I can't do shit.
She was trying. She was like, "Get the gun, Richie." He's like, "Look, you shot me in the leg. It's hard." But before the killer can get to the gun, Sam grabs it. And she was like, shoot him, Sam. Sam, don't shoot the killer.
I was angry.
And then Richie,
time, baby.
Richie comes up. She's like, "You okay?" He like, "Yeah." Stab right in the side. She dropped the gun. It would have been stab, pow. It would have just been a reaction, pow. Like, ow, something hit me, pow. I would have, yeah. So Richie's the killer. And Amber.
I did appreciate when Sydney walked into the house and she was shooting the doors. Ghostface calls her, and she's like, "Hello," and he's like, "Blah blah blah blah." She's like, "Enough of this shit," and hangs up on him. Yes, I'm bored. This is what we need. I am bored. Hang up on him. Like, "Don't hang up on me." Like, I'm not finna listen to this.
He was trying to. He was like, "No, wait, no, wait, please, let me finish. I have so much to say."
You see that? She said, "Enough is enough. Get out of here." So yeah. Now we're, so Sydney tells Tara to shoot Amber. She doesn't, so now we know we have 20 more minutes left of this bullshit. And, Richie turns into, like, Stu Macher. He gets a little loopy crazy. Not too crazy.
Yeah, he actually didn't, because who was it they said they get fucking, was that Jay? It was like, they get fucking loopy at the end, and they get all hyper.
This one they weren't.
She was a little bit too much.
Yeah, they were a little, I guess they were passionate.
Yeah.
So Richie goes through his Scooby-Doo, the villain telling you why they're doing what they're doing. He and Amber reveal that they're fans of the Stab film that met on the subreddit, and, they were disappointed.
Met an underage girl.
Correct. They were disappointed at how the Stab movies were going, and the most recent Stab, and they decided to go on a killing spree and bring back the surviving trio to provide source material for a potential Stab installment based on more true events. And then they wanted to make Sam the culprit. I don't know, maybe write up the treatment and the script and just send it to Hollywood. Maybe they might have liked that.
No, they said we got to kill people. Yeah, and he's like,
and it was just a lot of. How can fandoms be toxic? Because you're killing people, honey.
It's love. I was like, oh my God. Like, so even though he was like, this was real, because he wasn't loopy, but he was passionate, but it's like, you're a psycho. But he was, right. He wasn't going too like, so yeah, they put them all in the kitchen. They really trying to do this. And then here we go.
Sydney gets stabbed for the 80th time.
Wait. He's like, we got to get Tara. Yeah, they need everybody here. And so they go get Tara. That's when Sydney gets stabbed. She tried to go for a knife on the counter. She gets stabbed. And then Gail just sitting there shot. And so they just all sit in the kitchen. Hey, Tara ain't here. Oh no. And so that's when they just go to ham on this girl. Like, they just start working the fuck out of little old Amber. Like, they was whipping her ass. Like, she was trying.
No. It was peer pressure. I didn't want to do it. I really didn't want to do it. Oh my God, please let me go.
That was pissing me off. I was like, girl, she's a bad actress. Not a bad actress, but she's a bad actor in the movie.
I will give Sydney and Amber. Well, okay, wait. First off, they're looking for Tara. They can't find her. The VTech phone rings. By the way, I had one of those when I was 13. And Richie picks up, and Tara starts beating Amber with a crutch. She needed something stronger.
She did what I know, but she did what you said, dude.
She did. She continued to beat her till Amber got up and pushed her over the couch. That's a nice soft landing. I appreciated that. And she needed a brick. She really needed a brick. And yes, Gail and Sydney attack Amber, and they smash a glass bottle of hand sanitizer over her head.
That's what I thought that was alcohol. But then she was like, that's hand sanitizer. And I was like, I've never seen a glass bottle.
It should have been Everclear, because this Everclear is kicking my ass.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And so they still trying to beat the fuck out of her. She taunting Gail like, oh yeah, I killed Dewey.
I give them just a little bit of grace because Gail was shot in the stomach and Sydney was stabbed in the stomach. So of course they're not at their full potential of strength. I give it. But at what point are we going to start kicking people in the back of the knees? Because you can take them down like that when you do. You've been kicked in the back of your knees before. That shit, you like, huh?
Oh my god! I hate you.
Like, we got to start doing these things. We got a flat tire. We got to step on the back of somebody's shoes. We got to take them out of the equation. We got to get them where it hurts. We got to start untying shoelaces. Something. Like, okay. What are we doing?
All right, that's enough.
So Gail kicks the shit out of Amber, and she lands back on their gas stove that she kicks on immediately. Gas stoves be pissing me off because you turn the thing, it's like,
right.
And you're still waiting, and like, why isn't this starting, you whore? But yeah, it's on, and did she get shot?
Yeah, Gail shoots her a couple times, and she turns over and falls, and she gets lit on fire.
And it's like, why'd y'all just leave her? It's time to stomp this bitch out like the Camel Lips on Serial Mom. We gotta stomp her out. That was the band. Let's spit more alcohol on Scotty.
Oh my gosh.
I hate that you had to think about it.
Because that band name didn't. Okay. All right. So now we're with Richie and Sam. Because he goes to, attack. Whatever. Yeah. So I just. He's looking for Sam.
Doesn't she jump out of the closet or something?
Yeah, she jumped out of the closet and she jumps on top of him. Same banister. They fall over. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They don't fall over the banister, but they fall down the stairs. Because he has the gun and she dropped, he had dropped the knife. And so she's crawling to it while she was crawling. I don't fucking know.
Well.
And then he's like, oh, I'm about to shoot you. And he doesn't immediately. He because I'm like, you don't see what she's crawling to. I mean, I get it was behind the curtain, but she sees Billy in the mirror, and he's like, do what you had to do. And then she stabs him through the
cheek.
I was like, oh my god. Like why his mouth is open, and you see the knife.
Ew, you got a big old mouth, looking like cone heads.
And then she just goes to work on him. She was stabbing him so much he wasn't dying. It was pissing me off because I'm like, so how are they killing people?
Why wasn't she stabbing in the face? He wouldn't have had no eyeballs.
Not Jeepers Creepers. Where'd you get those?
He wouldn't have had no eyeballs. He wouldn't have had no nose. He wouldn't have had no neck. And she never stabbed him in the heart. Like, I want a good boom right through the heart, a good heart stab. We've been missing out on that.
She like
when Derek got shot in the heart on Scream 4, like a good heart stab. Yeah, she's stabbing him, and he actually has time to speak. He's like, well, what about my ending? She's like, here it comes, baby.
And she said, she doesn't do it she does it through the side, not through the middle.
Yeah,
it was that pissed me off.
I mean, well, she's not a professional. And then here's my thing. Why? I would have wanted to leave him alive Or I would have wanted him to suffer. I want to watch you die. I'm not giving you the benefit of putting you out of your misery early. I'm going to sit there and file my fucking nails and watch you die.
Okay, then.
You commie scum.
Okay.
Yeah, so she slices his throat and then she cleans the knife with her bare hand. Didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. Who did Stu or Billy kill and they clean their knife off like that? That did not survive. That did survive. Who would have known that was a thing is what I'm saying.
Oh, Sydney.
They stabbed Sydney and cleaned the knife off?
No, when he fake stabbed Billy, he cleaned the knife off.
Okay. So I don't remember that. Okay.
Yeah. Now, who she would have told? I mean, I don't know. Maybe she told.
I don't feel like she would have told anybody.
But Gail knew a lot of shit. Gail knew a lot of shit that she wouldn't.
Gail was creeping behind the door.
She knew about what happened in the high school, and wasn't nowhere in there.
This was Gail.
Remember, she was in there when they were having a discussion about Scary Spice.
Clean the knife.
Sorry, Ginger Spice. I hate you.
Look, anything? No. What about now? No. Okay, how about this one? No, nothing. Sorry, Sheriff.
I hate you so much. So Sydney and Gail, they can walk now, even though, they both got stomach wounds. And she drops the knife. They both have the gun. She's like, be careful, they always come back. And
she said, not this time, or whatever the hell she said. She shoots Richie 3-4 times.
Through the neck one time. Then hit all burnt up and shit. I'm so sick of burnt.
Looking like the end of Chucky. Like she really because it was like melty and gooey. Like, oh, it looked gross. And then Tara pops her in the head and says, "I still prefer the Babadook." And I was like, no. Nope. It would have been better if she said, "You fucking cunt." Something like that. Like, I hate you. Like, you were a terrible lay. Your breath stinks. Something. Not, I still prefer the Babadook.
And Sam's like, Sid, am I going to be okay? She's like, girl, I don't know. And then we get the end. The end movie finally ends after all this prolonging. And then we discover that Mindy survived. Chad survived somehow.
I mean, when I saw this movie and I saw that Mindy was only stabbed in the shoulder, I thought she was going to be the killer in the next movie. Because I thought this was her get out of jail free stab. I really thought it was. She isn't. Gail promises not to write another book about the new murders and says she's going to write a book about Dewey, but the bitch lied because nobody wanted to buy that book. So she did write about the Woodsboro murders again, and we see a news report. Tara and Sam get in the Amber Lamp and they drive away. And that is the end of Scream 5 2022. Judging by our review, I don't think you really like this movie.
I hate you. I don't like it. What are you saying? I did though. It was fun. Maybe I just like the new characters. I like the new characters.
I think you might have been a little preoccupied. Or maybe this was more of a serious movie, so it wasn't too jokey, Maybe that's what it was. By your phone. All right, so for Scream 2022, I give it a 6 out of 10. I didn't hate anybody. I thought the movie was just okay. I feel like just the thought of, Billy's illegitimate daughter, blah blah. I just didn't like that.
And they try to set it up and make it seem like I'm like Billy was really it just did. Okay, I don't know. It just didn't seem like he would have been just fucking somebody else. He was plotting murders, planning, a killing spree. But whatever, they had to do something, and that was the only torch they could throw. They really should. If you were gonna bring up Stu Marker having a sister who had a son who had to get killed, I would have just rather his sister be the killer or something like that. Like make it like that would have been easier, honestly.
Yeah.
or have her like the sister's kid could have been like, oh, you killed my uncle, something like that. But I'll give it a 7.5. There were people of color, or Black people. I thought the new characters were cool, but they all died. Like, so I mean, I like the twins, they're cool. They are immortal. So yeah, I'll give it a 7.5.
I think it's time that they had a Black killer.
I think you can go straight to hell.
I think it's time because, I mean, Hallie was supposed to be a killer in Scream 2, but they had to scrap that shit. But yeah, there have not been. We had a brown guy in Scream 6, but he wasn't even part of the real equation. He was like a copycat of a copycat, so nobody really knew who the fuck he was. So we can't even really count him. So I really think that, or just a POC. Let's just put it that way, a POC.
I would rather, instead of that, just do a white gay guy.
So the killer got to stay white for your book.
Serial killers are typically white males. That's
right, and that's why in all these movies, why are they suspecting the Black people? They got to stop that because we don't do that anymore.
Did we suspect any Black people in this movie? I didn't ever think it was Chad.
They all blamed each other. Remember? Yeah. They definitely blamed Mindy.
Mindy was doing a lot though. She does a lot in all these movies. Like she was just way too intense. I'm like, girl, calm your ass down.
Yeah, it was something. Yeah, this was I didn't hate it. Let's put it that way. I didn't hate it. Yeah. It was a enjoyable sequel.
Shit, look at the cast. Look how big this cast is. That's why
that's 85 people. Who the hell is that by Richie? That's Deputy Judy. That is a lot of people. That's why I kept messing everybody's damn name up. Like, get out of here. Give me like 3-4 people so I can remember, because look, I don't need a big kill count. Just like, give me a good story. So that will do it for Scream 5, Scream 5, Freem.
Also called Scream
2022. Be sure to follow us very soon. We are going to review the Family Guy Halloween special that airs on Hulu tomorrow. I think it's going to be hilarious. We'll be reviewing that soon, and then after that, we'll let you know what our next review is going to be. I did get a request, but I cannot, for the life of me, I can't remember what the movie was. I don't have my phone near me, and if I touch anything on this laptop, it's gonna blow up. So I'm not even going to.
Thank you.
I'm not even going to attempt. I will let you guys know the next time. But till then, what's today? October 13th. We have, just a couple more days till Halloween, and that's what we're gonna review. After the Family Guy special, we will review Halloween. Not the Rob Zombie shit either. Oh, are you scared?
Yes, I have never seen that movie. I don't like him. So I don't like him.
Well, you're in for a treat.
Jesus.
Have a great one, guys. Bye-bye.
Pray for me.
Where did you hide it, Dan?